showers of blessing. This is the promise of love. There shall be season refreshing, sent from the Savior above. Mercy drops round us are falling, but from the showers we plead. There shall be showers of blessing. This is the promise of love. This is the promise of love.
Thank you, Aradi. Okay. Once again, good evening to all. So
Good evening, teacher.
today's session is
Good evening, teacher.
ninth
Good evening, teacher.
second unit and last prose Tolstoy found. I think all familiar with the topics for allowed for the exam second time, right? Can any one of you tell me? Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, tell me.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, tell me. Which are the portions allotted for you for the second term exam? So time is limited. Don't waste time. Okay, any one of you come forward? No one? Okay. So Tolstoy from the second unit last portion. It was written by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Who is he?
The father of our nation.
Father of our nation.
Father of our nation.
Can you tell the content of the prose?
Father of our nation.
Yeah, right. Tolstoy. Anyone? For the major characters. What's the lesson for? Hmm? No one? Okay. The major characters of Tolstoy are Mahatma Gandhi himself. And do you know it is an extract from his autobiography? What's the title of his autobiography? Anyone?
Tolstoy.
Story of experiments with
Hmm?
Truth
story
and
of my experiments with truth.
Yeah,
I experiment with the truth.
truth. Yeah, right. So, can you tell the major characters of this prose? Major characters: Gandhiji himself, Mr. Kallenbach,
Gandhiji,
then
Mr. Kallenbach,
Kallenbach, and inmates of the farm. Right?
inmate of the Tolstoy farm.
Yeah, Tolstoy farm. Why he gave this title Tolstoy farm? Hmm? Anyone? Why Gandhiji gave this Tolstoy?
Because both Kallenbach and Gandhiji were highly impressed by Tolstoy's writings.
Tolstoy's writings, his works are highly impressive to both Gandhiji and Kallenbach. So, to give him their favorite writer, they gave the title to their farm. Actually, what was going that farm? What's it? We are familiar with the dairy farms, poultry farm. Then is it somewhat like that? Hmm? It's a community Indian started by Gandhiji and his friends there. In which place? Where they started? In Transvaal, South Africa in 19. Remembering? Huh?
STC.
Yes.
Teacher.
Okay, he encounters certain problems related to the education of the inmates of this Tolstoy. It is actually an education uh, organization, right? So there were Hindu, Muslim, Parsi, Christian boys, and some Hindu boys in the Tolstoy farm. Gandhiji did not think it necessary to engage special teachers for them. Why? Why Gandhiji uh, have such a thought? Gandhiji has such a thought. Why? Why he?
Because
Huh? Because
because it was not possible to find out much qualified Indian teachers in
yeah,
at
there
that
were
time.
two reasons. One is the scarcity of qualified teachers, and second one, uh,
Yeah,
transport all the
because
way from Johannesburg.
because the place was from
Yes,
21
because
miles from Johannesburg.
yeah, right. Salary is not reasonable for them. Because for meager salary, and none is ready to travel such a long distance. So Gandhiji thought it is not necessary to have teachers or special teachers to teach the inmates of Tolstoy. And he didn't believe in the existing system of education. So, what was his point of view in education? What type of education he wanted to provide children? Anyone?
He said that true education could be imparted only by the parents and
Yeah. In a family, father is the central character, the central figure, isn't it? He is like the son of the family. SUN, son, right? So all others are revolving around. So, in his opinion, only parents can impart true education to their children. That's why he assumed himself as the father of Tolstoy. He assumed the role of father in Tolstoy. Then, what are the responsibilities he shouldered there? The responsibilities he shouldered there. Can you remember? Hmm? He always gave a first place to moral training, right? He believed character is important, and through proper education, we can impart what? Good character to the learners. So, character building is the proper foundation for the education of children. He believed so. His point of view was right or wrong? Huh?
That's right.
Yes, he was right, absolutely right. Because without character, we can't gain. So he started some literary training classes with the help of Mr. Kallenbach and Pragji Desha. And how was it running? The Tolstoy farm, how was it running? It's running on their routine, how it began. Was there servants? Was there servants in Tolstoy farm to all the
No,
homely
ma'am.
house? Yes or no? Response?
No,
No
ma'am.
servants.
No
no
servants in the
servants.
farm. All
No servants.
works
No
were
servants.
done by the inmates themselves. He made obligatory from and home to give some time to gardening. Then they have to give their everything, that means from cleaning to scavenging, cooking, all this that was done by the inmates themselves. He made it obligatory for all the inmates. There's no concession for anyone, right? He took a delight in the work. They did not generally need any other exercise or games. Gandhiji paid attention to occasional training also. Can you tell me what were the occasions start in Tolstoy farm? Can you? The occasional training provided in Tolstoy farm?
Vocational training.
Ah, yes, occasional training, which are
Carpentry,
shoemaking,
yeah, carpentry, shoemaking, then then
cooking.
cooking, gardening, like this, isn't it? So inmates, after their education, uh, they will
Young
become
sisters.
proficient in any one of the uh, occasions taught in that farm, right? They will get proper
Yes.
training in any one of the uh, works. Sometimes they become better in their shoemaking ability, or sometimes in cooking, sometimes in gardening, like this. Okay. So shoemaking and carpentry were they provided in that also from the help of Mr. Kallenbach, because he got that proper training from some monastery, right? So youngsters in the farm enjoyed the learning because why they enjoyed the learning? Because in Tolstoy farm, teachers are not the instructors. Then what was the role of teacher? What was the role of teacher in Tolstoy farm?
Teachers were working with them and also cooperating with them.
Teachers are not giving instructions, but they are working themselves. They are actually one among the students, right? So children cheerfully learn the works along with their teachers. That's our main attraction of the occasional training provided Tolstoy, right? Okay. So Gandhiji believed in education. His policy on education was, by education I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in the child and the man, body, mind, and spirit. Right? Okay. Now we can move to the discourses. The chances of discourses asked by the examiner from this prose. Can you tell me the possibilities of discourses? Children,
A write-up,
a write-up. A write-up on the dignity of labor. There's a chance, right? Then, next, sometimes there's a chance to ask an interview with calendar, because he is the trainer there. He knew how to make shoes, and also he is an excellent skiller in carpentry. So sometimes then chance to ask an interview with Helen. You know the features of an interview, isn't it? Sometimes six questions, six exchanges, six questions from the reporter, and six answers from Helen. Okay, clear? Then there is another
Clear, teacher.
an, narrative, a narrative session. What can be asked? Education policy envisaged by Gandhiji. Is there any scope? Such a scope? Education policy? Respond, children. You are not. You are the people who are facing the exam. So, narrative education policy. You can write the nutshell of the prose. Tolstoy. Gandhiji, how he treated the inmates in Tolstoy farm, what is his educational policy, how he implemented it, and how the routine life of people of Tolstoy farm. There's no discrimination, there is no gender discrimination, there is no specialty to inmates. They have to do all the domestic work themselves because there were no servants. Likewise, you in a nutshell in the narrative form. For that, you have to read the text twice or thrice before you are going to exam hall. Okay, right?
ma'am.
Okay. Now I am moving to unit 3, Song of Rain by Khalil Gibran. Do you remember it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
teacher.
Okay. Anyone of
Yes,
you
ma'am.
tell me
Yes,
the
teacher.
theme of poem Song of Rain by
In this,
Khalil Gibran?
Khalil Gibran.
Yeah. Theme.
In this,
Yeah,
in
right.
this, the speaker itself is the poet here.
Yeah. The speaker of this poem is Rain. Rain itself is speaking. Mm. What it speaks out.
Its beauty.
Its
Mm.
beauty.
It's beautiful. Raining is very beautiful scene, and we all like to enjoy raining. But when it is a heavy rain, we can't.
Rain is compared to beautiful pearls plucked from the Ishtar, crown of Ishtar.
Yeah. So he is adorning the crown of Krishna, and he came from. Is he a terrestrial body or a celestial body?
Heaven.
Ah, yes, his celestial body is the heaven. From heaven he came, and
Like a silver thread.
yeah, like a silver came. Mm. Then nothing. So the theme of the poem is the relationship between rain and earth, isn't it? It came from heaven
Yes.
and poured down to earth. Rain is the life given force on earth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it narrates, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, like human life. 3 stages are there. We also have a beginning, a middle, and an end portion. Likewise, rain has the same life like a human being. It's sad or happy or anything else. What is the tone of the poem? It's serene and peaceful, isn't it? It is like a feather touch. The rain is a smooth one. It appeases our mind, right? Clear?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, what message conveyed to you by reading this poem? After reading this poem, message which touches in your mind?
Movie.
Hmm? The message of the poem is life is always a give and take process, right? The rain
Yes.
comes from heaven and it gives life to earth. Again, earth gives life to rain. How? How earth gives life? Rain? How?
When it cries, the hills laugh.
Yeah, it's a cyclic process, isn't it? It came from heaven and it pours down again from the sea water and the different sources of water. It again in the part of sun. It goes up form in the form of cloud and again comes back like this, right? So there's a cyclic process. And one more thing, it is there's a comparison of rain that rain is somewhat like that of woman. Woman actually women get power from their best best half. That means their from best portions. That's their husbands. Normally, it's somewhat like open. So after gaining this power, they became more powerful. Likewise, heat is the reason behind the steam, isn't it? From the hotness of sun, sea water became vaporized and goes up to form clouds. But when rain pours down, what happened? What happened? Rain kills heat,
Clear.
right? Forget everything, huh? Hmm? Am I right? They are not responding. Actually, a rain is rain means from cloud, right? From cloud, when it's condensed, it pours down as rain. Hmm? Again, through the heat of sun, it vaporizes, the water vaporizes and goes upward and form clouds. So this process is going on. So actually, who is the origin? What is the origin of clouds or rain? Heat, isn't it? When it rains, it kills heat. Got the idea? Okay. So the message of the poem is we must always give back. That means when somebody do some favor to us, we must return the same favor, or in other way, we have to return our favor to others also. It is a not a one-way process, it is two-way process. That means we have to give and take. Rain is born are elements of earth and gives back to the field and flowers that make up this earth. Got the idea? The message of the poem. It is a give and take process. Rain is born of the elements of the earth and gives back to the fields and flowers that make up. So imagery. Now we can go to the devices of this poem. Imagery. Visual image. Can you point out visual images of this poem?
Yes.
I am dotted silver threads.
Yeah, I am dotted silver thread. Then,
Poppy like sand.
I am beautiful pearl. Mm,
The rainbow announces my departure.
announces its departure. Yeah, visual image.
Okay.
Yeah, rainbow is the visual
Actually,
image.
beautiful poet.
Okay, then I am dotted silver thread. Another example. It is an example for another.
Metaphor.
Yeah, right, metaphor. I am beautiful pearl.
Metaphor.
It's also example for metaphor.
Metaphor.
Yeah, right.
Metaphor.
Now, auditory image. Now, auditory image.
Voice
When
of
the rain
thunder.
cries
The
of the
voice
hills
of the
that
thunder
The
declares
voice of
my
thunder
arrival.
declares my arrival. Excuse me, Deepak.
Laughter of
Yeah. Then the voice of the hunter declares my arrival, right? Then when I cry, the hills laugh. Do you remember this? When I cry, the hills laugh. This is the sound of cry and the sound of laugh, right? Then the
Yes.
laughter of the field. The laughter of the field. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
teacher.
then
Yes,
another
teacher.
thing,
Teacher.
tactile image. Any of you, can you tell the tactile image examples of tactile image? Feelings. Tactile means feelings.
I touch gently at the windows with my soft
Touch
fingers.
the windows with my soft fingers. Right. Then the sighs from the deep sea of affection. Right. I embrace the
Yeah, teacher.
yeah. I embrace the flowers. So these all the examples of some other poetic device. Can you say any one of you?
Personification.
Yes, personification.
Personification.
Right, right. You're very,
Personification.
very studious students. Good. So when I cry the hills laugh,
Personification.
thunder declares my arrival. The field and the clouds are lovers. When I humble myself, the flowers rejoice, etc. The examples of personification. Right, okay. Then metaphor I told you. I am dotted silver threads, I am beautiful pearls. I quench the thirst. I am like earthly light. I emerge from the heart of the sea. I touch gently the windows. I am the sigh of the sea. These are all examples of metaphor. Okay. Then there is an example of simile. Anyone?
I'm like earthly
I
light.
am like earthly life.
Like earthly light.
Right.
Life
Good,
as
good,
a
good.
human overcome.
Then
I am like only light.
alliteration. Alliteration.
Doctor of dawn.
Daughter of dawn, messenger of mercy.
Daughter
I
of
am
the sigh of the sea.
Dotted drops.
Ah, yes.
messenger of moon.
Sea. Mu sound is
Messenger of
repeated
mist.
there. Sigh of the sea. S sound is repeated there. Daughter of dawn. D sound is repeated. Okay. Clear? So
Okay, teacher.
in
Yes.
appreciation,
Okay, teacher.
we can expect an
Teacher.
appreciation from this poem. Then I think you are able to write an appreciation using all these things I mentioned here. You have to, from the first line, you have to write the title and the writer's name, then the theme of the poem, then and the second paragraph. Rajiv, Divya, don't share the screen, please. Don't do unwanted things, right? Okay. So you can
No,
mention
sir.
the second
Not
paragraph, visual images, but devices, and the theme in elaborated way. Then the last session you can, that means the conclusion you can write whether which line attracts you the best, what's the message of this poem. The teachers, I think they already provided you the appreciation of this poem, right?
Yes.
So we can
Yes, teacher.
the next uh, prose. It is a drama. It has 5 scenes and it is about climate, isn't it? The protection of the need to protect our trees. Otherwise, um, our nature, who is the real protector of us, turned to be a real destructor also. Such a message is given through the uh, play written by Kaveri Nambishan. Listen to the mountain. Can you see the a nutshell of the play? Anyone? Anyone? The nutshell of the play? Hmm?
teacher once more.
Ah, okay, okay. Come forward. Don't be shy. I'm on like you. Hello.
It's about protecting our environment.
Okay, Annie. Annie.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me. Tell me.
Teacher, it's about protecting our environment.
Yeah. Right. Then.
And also, some people are
Mm,
destroying our environment, and it's the
yeah.
story for them
Mm,
uh, to not destroy our environment and keep it safe.
okay. Okay. So let me ask for the major characters of this play.
Grandmother,
Yes.
Grandmother,
Narayan,
Grandmother.
Sagar,
Sagar,
Grandmother, Ma'am Narayan,
Ram.
Sagar,
Yes. Then. Mm,
Sagar,
Sagar.
Rudrappa,
Sit,
Mm,
Dishit,
ah.
Dikshit,
No, they are there.
Shastri,
I will tell you.
Sagar,
Yes, right.
Ramana, Shastri, Kannan, Rudrappa,
Ramanna. Okay, right. So grandmother.
Sagar,
Yes. Grandmother, 90-year-old great grandmother, wise and sensitive, lived in the village all her life, isn't it? She
yes,
born and brought up there. And she's a great lover of nature. She likes birds, fish, trees, flowers, and animal around her. And they are actually her friends. She can hear the voice of nature, and she knew the pulse of nature. And when she heard the shocking news that Dharmagiri, they are decided to construct a five-star hotel, it was really shocking news to her because she thought it is complete destruction of that the serenity of the hill, right? Am I right? Hmm?
yes, teacher.
yes,
Okay, then another
yes, teacher.
character is Narayan. Narayan is the school headmaster and grandma's son, and he loves the village and villagers, and he was devoted to protecting nature. He is determined to find a solution to protect Dharmagiri, right? Another character,
Yes, teacher.
next one is Ramanna. Ramanna is a dish of honor, concerned about the hotel coming up at Dharmagiri because he was suffering disturbed. When a five-star hotel came there, who is the real sufferer? Ramanna, because
Ramanna.
the
villagers.
hotel
Ramanna.
uh, ensued, right? So he mm,
Yes.
was the uh, was the one who is most disturbed and annoyed by the arrival of the decision of Mr. Dixit, isn't it? Then another important character is Sagar. Sagar is the building contractor of Mr. Dixit. He is the representative of modern man who looks down upon the village and the villagers. He is a materialist as well as ambitious, right? He was not concerned about the
Yes,
Yes.
ancient beliefs of the villagers, and he wanted developments. For developments, he is the least bothered about nature and its protection, right? Then another important character is Dikshit. Who is Dikshit? Dikshit is the
Millionaire.
the multi-million.
yes,
Millionaire.
the honor of the
Theaters.
five-star hotel, right? Okay. He is the millionaire industrialist, business tycoon, and does not understand the sentiment of the villagers. He is money minded and a complete businessman, right? Then minor characters also there Shastri, Kannan, Rudrappa, likewise. So, five scenes. The first scene, I will tell you the beginning of play because very time limit is there. The play began with the monologue of grandmother, and grandmother speaks about her village on the slopes of Dharmagiri hills. The village set amidst the beautiful Harmagiri hills abounds in natural beauty. Grandmother had a tough but happy life. Our grandparents or parents also have that. They are familiar with that life. But in modern society, all are interested only in gadgets and a easy way to live, isn't it? You people are, and I am also the representative of easy way, how to live easy. They are not ready to work hard or not ready to wait for anything. They are all fast and they want to get everything as fingertips. Like, okay, the village is set amidst the beauty
Yes.
of Harmagiri. It was totally destroyed by the present, by the proposed arrival of that the workers heavy that means the vehicles and everything will distract the serenity of the village, and grandmother is worrying about it and she is totally distressed and she want to avoid it, but how is it possible for them? The second scene, we can see the that means the stage. There comes Sagar, the building contractor, and he informs the villagers they should plan to build the five-star hotel in the village. The villagers are shocked after hearing this, and they gathered where in scene 3, they gathered in tea shop of Ramana and their heated argument, and they decided to anyway, at any cost, they decided to stop the construction works on Harmagiri. Okay. In scene 4, grandmother is again worried about the decision of Sagar and the upcoming arrival of the materials for construction and the vehicles and also the laborers, and they want to make they feared that the whole thing, that means the arrival of vehicles, arrival of materials, arrival of workers, everything will distract the natural beauty of their village. Okay. So, grandmother, fourth scene, grandmother is worried about what would happen to the animals, birds, trees, and the river. She advises Narayan to speak to the children as tomorrow's world in their world. And she mocks the rich, saying, big people with small hearts will swallow this beautiful village of theirs. In scene 5, we see children led by Narayan protest against the construction. They present a petition to Dikshit. Dikshit refuses and he really mocked the village people's sentiments and their attachment to the nature. Because he is a money-minded man, he is a businessman. He didn't want to see the attachment of the people's their sentiments and nothing. He treated it as a utter waste. Then suddenly what happened? A landslide occurs and the villagers are in village killing 11 people including 2 children. So when we want to harm nature, nature will give a return slap, right? In the forms of landslide, earthquakes, tremors, tsunami, flood, likewise, right? Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the chance is to ask character sketch of grandmother. There's a chance for it. So I think you know the attachment of grandmother to this village because she born brought up in this village and she had a sentiments towards her village, and she told to her son, if you want to protect this nature is to the next generation, isn't it? It will not belong to the old people but to the coming generation, that means the children. So tell them what they need. If they need development and if they want a five-star hotel in their village, let them do it. If they are not willing, let them protest it. Okay. So children are more sensible than um, grown-ups. So they decided they didn't want a hotel in their village. So they protested, and the end we same in that term. Okay, clear? Children, clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
I think I covered the portions allotted for me. If you have any doubts regarding these units, Tolstoy Farm,
No, ma'am.
Song of Rain, or Listen to the Mountain, please ask. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, dears.
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, teacher.
Good
Am I,
evening,
clear?
teacher.
Am I, yes. Am I audible?
Yes,
Am
ma'am.
I clear?
Yes,
Yes.
teacher.
So we'll
Yes,
continue.
teacher.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sunitha teacher. So we'll continue. So we are moving on to the next lesson. Climate change is not hysteria. It's a fact. Can anybody tell me who is the speaker?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, yes, yes. Leonardo
Leonardo
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio.
Yes, we all love him. I hope you have all watched the movie Titanic.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, sir. Yes. So he is the
Yes,
hero, Jack.
teacher.
So, but here, in this lesson, we are meeting him in another way. He is speaking for the world, and he is talking to us about climate change. As we all know, climate change is the main problem or main issue which is facing by we people today. Due to this global warming and climate changes, there are a lot of problems the earth is facing. Yes. So here he is giving us a warning and he is saying he is among with us. He is with us and it's time for we to stand up together and fight against the issues related with climate change. And he is saying climate change is the only one single greatest security threat and if we do not act together. See, usually, in this world, we will have different types of threats in the form of war, in the form of nuclear weapons, and the fight between countries. But you know one thing? What DiCaprio is saying, climate change is the one and only security threat. The world should stand together as one. That's what he is talking through his beautiful speech. Climate change is not a hysteria, it's a fact. So, no need to worry about the climate changes. If we stand this together, if we love nature, protect nature, care nature, definitely
ഓ അതന്നെ
we can avoid the issues which is related with climate change. See, from this lesson, the expecting questions for our second terminal examination. First one is a review of this lesson. A review or a narrative can be asked. Next thing is a notice based on this lesson. See, notice is a definite question for a coming examination. So in a notice, sometimes the question will be like this: You are the convener of the school English club. Prepare a likely notice about the upcoming film festival or to celebrate Environment Day. So like that, the subject will change. So in a notice, I hope you all know. First of all, you have to write the title notice. Then you can write down the name of your school. Then can you tell me what next comes in a notice? When you're asked to prepare a notice, what are the things you will furnish? What are the things you will write?
Capital letter notice.
Yes, very good. Notice. Then next step.
School name.
Yes, yes, very good. School
Name.
name. Then
venue,
Time. Venue.
place,
Caption.
yes,
date,
as,
time,
yes, yes,
program
yes.
details,
Place.
Yes. See what should yes what in the third line what we have to write.
What is the subject?
Yes, the program. What is our program? Yes. Then comes the date. Then comes the time. Then comes what?
Body. Yeah.
Venue. Venue. Place. Yes. Then we have to write the content. What should be the content? how we invite our friends, our teachers, and all the guests to this program. Dear all, our respected everyone. Then how we start? It has the school English club, or it has been decided to conduct a program. Like that, you can write your invitation. Then you can prepare the program. So if you are able to make these two segments, your mark will be full. One of your mic is on. Please mute your mic. Kindly mute your mic. Srija, I don't know its name. Yes. So, like that, we can prepare the notice. Is it clear, dear?
Yes, teacher.
Teacher.
Okay. Yes. So,
Teacher.
sometimes there may be a question. Read the passage from the lesson, climate change. It's not a hysteria, it's a fact. That means a passage will be given. Based on that passage, 5 questions will be there. You have to read the passage 2 times, read the question, again read the passage, then you will be able to write the answer. Okay. So these are the expected questions from the lesson. Climate change is not a hysteria, it's a fact. So now I am moving on to the next lesson. The next lesson, I hope you all love that lesson. It is the jungle air crash. Can you tell me what's the name of the writer? The jungle air crash.
Julian Kopak.
Yes. Julian Kopak. And who is she? Who is Julian Kopak?
She was the solo survivor of the Lanza air crash.
Excellent. She is the one and only sole survivor of the Lanza air crash. Do you know in which year it was happened, this air crash? Any idea? In which year? This
24 December.
December? Which year?
1971.
1971. See, now this is also the month of December. So exactly how many years back this incident was happened? This air crash was happened. This is also the month of December. We are in 2022, right? How many years back? More than 51, right? Yes, 50. More than 50 years back it was happened. But still we are remembering her. Remembering Julian Kopak. Because she is the one and only survivor of the Lanza air crash. And what happened to her? Do you know? What happened to Julian? What happened to Julian?
She was ready to meet her father, and at that time there was a big storm, and she fell into the Amazon rainforest.
Yes. See, Julian and her mother and Julian, see, they were on a fly and they want to reach to their daddy's hut. But unfortunately, there was an air crash. The Lanza flight was crushed completely on the top of the Peruvian rainforest. And by the grace of God, maybe she was the one and only person who comes down to earth. After more than 11 days of flight through the Peruvian forest, she was saved by her rescuers. And it's a very interesting lesson to read because she is saying her father and mother taught her how to live in a jungle. And she is saying, in a jungle, the rivers are like roads. What she is saying? In a jungle, rivers are like what?
Roads.
Roads. Yes, the river. Yes. The rivers are like roads. So she is walking nearby the stream, and a small stream leads her to a small river. At last, she reached to a big river, and she had a lot of problems during her walk. She was so tired, nothing to eat. She was completely wounded. There was no one to help her. And she was always carrying a stick to avoid the snakes and poisonous creatures. Is it clear, dears?
Yes, yes.
Yes, teacher.
So at last, one day she was walking not through the bank of the river. Yes, she was walking through the river. At the end, when the river turns big, she started swimming. She started swimming because she can't walk. She was so tired after the long walking, running, and she was so tired. Her health is very, very bad. At last, she started swimming. After 11 days, she reached to a riverside. She saw a boat. So with that, she understood there may be the presence of some human beings. Anyway, two people, the wild hunters, those who came there and they met her, they understood that she is the survivor of the air crash, and they had given her the helping hand, and she was saved, and she is back to her father. So this was the experience of Julian Kopeck. So from this lesson, most probably there will be a question of narration. You will be asked like this. You have read the story, you have read the lesson, The Jungle Air Crash by Julian Kopeck. Prepare the likely narrative. Another question, you can ask or five questions, prepare five questions to interview Julian Kopeck. Another question, kindly write down the diary entry of Julian Kopeck. All these are the possibilities. And next one, a newspaper report. Because Julian was sick, the next day newspaper came with this report. So prepare the likely newspaper report of the escape or Julian Kopeck. All these are the expected questions. I hope a narration, next question, a diary. Then you can prepare 5 or 6 questions to ask to Julian Kopeck. Next one, the newspaper report. See, do you know how we can prepare a newspaper report? What are the things we have to add while you are preparing a newspaper report?
Date and time.
A good heading.
Very good. Yes,
Title.
excellent. The heading or the title. What comes next? Next slide.
The staff
Place.
reporter.
Place. Yes, staff reporter. Then place. Then we can write the news. So first thing, and each sentence should be connected to the connected. There should be a flow in your writing because we are reporting events. So each event should lead to the next event. So like that, you can prepare a newspaper report. So these are the things which is from the jungle air crash, and then comes language elements. See, we have to discuss some grammar portions too. So the first thing, there will be a question of phrasal verbs. See, I would like to share you some important phrasal verbs. Put on. If you have a paper and pen, please note down. Put on. Put on means to wear. Next one, set off. Are you listening to me, dear?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
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 So put on. Yes. Put on to
Yes,
wear.
teacher.
Means, for example, I put on my shirt. I put on my top. I put on my shawl. So to wear. Next word is set off. Set off means also to begin. Set off. We set off the journey. Then give up. Give up means stop trying. See, if you are if you are a footballer or a cricketer, we can give you a don't never ever give up. You should not stop. You should continue your efforts. Next one, set out. Set out also means begin a journey. Next one, give in. Give in means reluctantly stop fighting. Reluctantly stop fighting. Another one, put up with. Put up with means tolerate. Next one, made up with means to get ready, to make our mind to do something. Then put off, postpone. See, we put off the programs. We postpone the programs. Then pass away means die. See, come across means when you are reading something, I have come across something. I have met something like that. So these are some phrasal verbs, important phrasal verbs. See, for this question, the question will be like this. Fill in the blanks with the suitable phrasal verbs. Fill in the blanks with suitable phrasal verbs. The paragraph will be from your textbook, and you have to add the blanks. You add the right answers in the blanks. And the answers will be there in brackets like put on or put up with, made up with or put off or pass, whatever it may be, that will be there in the bracket. So fill in the blanks. When you read two times, definitely you will get the correct or appropriate phrasal verb for the blank. Next question is reported speech. See, reported speech will be asked like this: read the conversation. See, there will be a conversation, and based on that conversation, two questions will be asked. So when you read this question, you have to keep one point in your mind. This is reported speech. See, reported speech means reported speech we two types. One is direct speech and indirect speech. And indirect speech is known as reported speech. So when we are writing an answer for reported speech, we have to make sure that we are using past tense. See, so keep just go through some examples of reported speech too. Next comes editing. Editing means error correction. Editing means error correction. Then comes, yes, there will be a question of editing. Then there will be a question of fill in the blanks with suitable preposition. Sometimes a word pyramid too. NP, noun phrase, verb phrase, like that. So these are the possible questions. So I would like to start from the beginning. I would like to share you the question paper, one of the question paper. So first thing, there will be a read the passage and answer the questions. Again comes read the poem and answer the questions. Then comes a poem for appreciation. The poem will be there. So you have to read the poem and you can prepare the appreciation. And then comes an unfamiliar passage. Unfamiliar passage means it's a new passage for you. Read it and write the answer. So when you are answering questions like reading passages, you have to read the passage or poem two times. Then read the questions. Again come back to the passage or poem. Then you will be able to write the answer. See, next comes the essay question. It's a 7-mark question. Two questions will be there. Based on your understanding, you can write one question. Sometimes it may be a question from Jungle Air Crash, or sometimes it may be a question from Tolstoy form. We are not sure. So anyway, just go through it. Then again comes a paragraph question. So in paragraph question, sometimes character sketch of grandmother or a notice. Then comes a climate change. A question maybe from climate change. Then there will be a question of profile. I hope you all know all these things. Profile. So like that, our questions will go on. At the end, we will have the language elements too. So I hope you got an idea to write your upcoming second term English examination. Is it, dears?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you got an idea? So prepare well. And I hope with this we will wind up this session. No? Yes? Okay, all the best for your examination and thank you for being with us. Sunil teacher, shall we wind up?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Thank you so much, dears. And all the